What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Bioshock Infinite! Alright, we made it to the Comstock house. Nothing stands in our way now. We made it past the siren. Not a single thing stands in our way. No, sir. Not a single thing.
Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt.
Take me back. Take me home. Please.
Oh no, what have we done? We were careless. No matter what we did, we couldn't stop the Songbird. Well, it would be nice if the game would at least let us try. I mean, come on, we never even get to fight the thing. Yeah, in some of the early builds of the game, the Songbird was supposed to be a reoccurring encounter that you fought multiple times. And they decided because they're so anti-boss battle all of a sudden, because of they feel, whoa. This isn't right.
It's July.
Where are we? But yeah, I guess they still held the whole Fontaine fight against us from the first Bioshock, so they really were very anti-boss when it came to the second and third, and well, I guess third game in this case.
Take me back to my tower. Please, please.
What is this place?
Some men dream of money.
What the hell?
Some men dream of love.
Is this the secret they've been keeping us all along?
Dreamt of a flood of fire. We were given Eden. And
What is this place? What do you plan to do to me?
This is really creepy. Comstock lives in this place? What a freak. Looks like a searchlight of some kind over here. See if we can sneak past. Oh, it's a security guard of some kind. We better be careful. We have no idea what we're up against in this place. It's probably Comstock's most dangerous machines and his most trained bodyguards. Oh, crap, it saw us. Alright, introducing a new enemy type, ladies and gentlemen, the Boys of Silence. And what they are, those are the guys that stand there with the lights coming out of their mouth and the giant megaphone type things on the side of their heads. And you cannot kill them. They technically have no health. So they're really not enemies so much as they are just environmental obstacles, or basically security cameras. And what they do is, like I said, they have their little vision cone, and if they see you, they set off an alarm that spawns in all of these guys. And these guys are essentially just regular enemies, the dedicated melee combatant, the thuggish splicer type enemy knockoffs that I talked about at the beginning of the game. Or maybe other types of enemies depending on where you are. These guys are freaky. I don't know why they keep tearing in and out like that. I picked up this pistol just to show it off one more time before we finally get rid of it. Forever. But it just shows you how little damage the pistol does now after all the enemies have scaled in difficulty and we've not upgraded the pistol at all. So let's go ahead and pick up a hand cannon again. I didn't want to waste ammo on all those guys that couldn't hit us except for melee attacks. But I decided I didn't want to waste all that time shooting them with a pistol. I would just kill them with a rocket launcher.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I gotta find a way.
So the Boys of Silence, they also, much like the Songbird, went through several revisions throughout the game. There was actually a point where I was not even 100% sure if the Boys of Silence were even going to be in the game. They were in a lot of the trailers and a lot of the development commentaries. They were on all the concept art and all the storyboarding. They released NECA, the company that makes a lot of the collectibles for video games and such, like the Team Fortress 2 characters and the Alcatraz I have from Crisis 2. Actually, the Booker DeWitt I have as well. They originally, before they made the Booker figure, they made a Elizabeth figure, and they made one for the Boys of Silence, and that came out before the game did. So obviously they had to include it in the game if they're going to release the figure for it.
Kind of leash. Yes, my father put it on me. But when the time came, neither did I remove it myself. What would happen if I took off the leash? And I found I was as obedient as ever.
We have got to find Elizabeth. We have got to stop whatever we set in motion. This is terrible. I can't believe we were so careless. But yeah, like I was saying, the Boys of Silence went through several revisions. These other enemies will not hurt you. And actually, despite the fact that what the Boys of Silence used to do in the, I guess, early alpha versions of the game is they used to be where they couldn't see you, but they could hear you, is the opposite. Which, I guess, is basically the same thing, but I guess they could integrate it into gameplay better this way for a first-person game.
Our minds are born festering with sin. Some are so blighted, they will never find redemption. The mind must be pulled up from the roots. My children are without blame, without fault,
Please just let me go.
choice. For what
I'm
is
not
the value
sick.
of will when the spirit is found wanting?
There's a lot of voxophones in this place, and a lot of very bizarre, interesting scenery to take in. But yeah, the Boys of Silence were changed, and their design makes a lot less sense now with the design change.
Even after all this time, DeWitt just left you here. You need to give up on him, love.
He will come.
Because you would think, you know, with that big, those big things on the side of their heads, that they would, it wouldn't be a vision cone you'd have to worry about. Like, why can they not hear you if they have such huge ear thingies? But they can still hear you, so stay crouched. If you sprint, I think they can hear you if you're too close to them. And if you touch one, if you make contact with it, then it'll also set off the alarm. I think you can touch the other enemies though, and it won't affect anything. But I don't think you can like hurt them or anything. I'm not sure if they'll respond to gunfire or not. I think you kind of have to be like in the same room as it for it to see you. I think if a sound triggers it, or if you pass by its vision cone, it will kind of act like the security cameras do in the previous Bioshock games, where it'll like see you just barely, and then it has to have you in its field of vision for a certain amount of time before it'll set off the alarm like the first one did. I triggered the first one deliberately because there's really not a lot of ways around it, and I wanted to make sure that I demonstrated what would happen if you got seen by it. I'm not going to try to have that happen again. There's a zealot that comes in down here, and there's also those two turrets up there. I want to control one of them if I can. And this is really what's going to be a pain in the butt right here, is fighting these guys, especially those turrets up there, because I just don't have the resources to deal with them, and I can't fall back into that room because the Boys of Silence are in there. And, yeah. So, I don't know what sick, twisted mind Comstock has to think this was a good idea, to have such a weird, bizarre, messed up, barbaric system. See, I can't void the zealot without getting tagged by the turret there. And I get hit by it anyway. Alright. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Yeah, without Elizabeth, we're back to respawning the old-fashioned way. God, we're hopeless without her. We're just useless. We kind of backtracked pretty far, though, so I may have to go through that room again. Yeah, like I said, even though there's a lot of gunfire happening in the next room there from where I was, the Boy of Silence is still not going to set off his alarm because he still has to. He may look in your general direction if he hears a sound, but he's not going to actually see you if you're not in the same room as him, so he's not going to set off that alarm. I think during my last test run, I had a really bad thing happen where one of the previous rooms that I had already been in got triggered and I had to run through, and it was just a mess. Alright, for the third time, take 3! I normally... Oh, come on, not now, not with this crap. Alright, I'm... I spoke too soon. Okay, maybe that wasn't last test run. Maybe that happened just now. So we're gonna just ignore all those guys and head for the elevator, because I'm done with this crap. Now that we get up here, we may get some normal enemies with guns, but nothing I'm really all that worried about. God, this is such a messed up place. Like, what are they trying to do to Elizabeth? It's like something out of a horror movie or a horror game at this point. It's much more fitting for the type of stuff you'd see in the older System Shock games and even the early Bioshock games as well.
The child is ready. It's time. Prophet. Even if we cure her,
We can do this. We can find her. We can undo this. We can make it all right if we just have to find her. We just have to get there quick enough. We can't be wasting any time.
still expect the wind to burst in.
Ugh. These things are disgusting. This room has another Boy of Silence in it, and it seems like it'd be really hard to dodge, but it actually has a pretty predictable pattern if you pay attention. And if you're crouched down behind this box over here, he can't see you, even though his light clearly goes around you there. I want to get behind him over there because I think there's a voxophone I want to get. Maybe we'll get that on the way back. Can't remember where it is exactly. I want to get all the voxophones here I can because just it really adds a lot of creepy factor with Elizabeth's dialogue there.
Of my chains. But in the end, he abandoned me to serve his own needs. But in some ways, I thank him. He showed me exactly how much faith our species deserved. God put his faith in men once too.
What have we done?
Disappointment.
This area, like, really just tonally completely changes up the game from where we were before. Like, the tone is completely shifted, but there's a massive sense of urgency. So the tonal shift not only mixes things up exponentially compared to where we were before in the game, but it also helps pick up the pace and get things interesting again after that low point there with the siren I didn't particularly care for. Carbine and shotgun here, which is a lot of people's favorite weapons if you wanted to go for that. Or get it on your way back or whatever. Gotta open this door somehow. I'm low on rockets, and I don't think I'm gonna get any more, so I think I will just pick up this here shotgun. You may think there's not going to be a lot of encounters here, but there will be, so don't pick up a weak weapon like the pistol there. If you don't absolutely have to.
Switch.
Great, another voxophone.
What I've done cannot be undone.
I just hope that this isn't the Elizabeth from this world.
I cannot.
Maybe it's
stop
the Elizabeth from another.
what I have put in motion. But perhaps I can keep it from ever starting. He was my first hope. And now, he is my last.
Should be able to head downstairs and get to Elizabeth now.
Holy sweet Jesus! Okay. So that was scripted, obviously. That Boy of Silence is going to be there no matter what. It's a cheap jump scare, which is a very effective cheap jump scare because they used it in the first Bioshock, and it worked pretty well there too. So now we get to fight some regular enemies, and I get to use my awesome vigor combos again, which I've really been looking forward to. Eat flaming crows! Yeah, the pace is kind of back to normal now. We really don't have to worry about any more alarms now. The stakes have been raised. You know, all bets are off. Let's go for it. So now we climbed. Well, essentially what we did is we climbed up to the top of the tower to unlock the warden's office, or whatever it is that we unlocked, and then we have to go back to the bottom to actually get into the area where Elizabeth is supposedly going to be held at. Let's just hope we get there in time. The shotgun is actually pretty ineffective against these guys because it has been upgraded, so I may just decide to put that away. Like I said, I'm used to playing with the Day 1 DLC that also gives upgraded the shotgun, and it gives it some nice gold trim, much like the machine gun and the pistol. And you get spoiled on that after a while. I mean, you really do. It really does help to have deliberately chosen your upgrades so that you're not abusing any unintentionally. But like I said, the shotgun is great in this game if you dedicate to it, but at this point it's just like I really can't pick up any weapons that I'm not committed to because they're just not going to be very effective. And we're almost at the end of the game and they're just not going to deal good enough damage. And that's a shame. I really like every weapon to be good, but you know, games like this with character progression and upgrade systems and alternate methods of attack, like a secondary power system. You really can't have all weapons be upgraded like that. Or maybe you can, depends on the game.
The leash comes off, because all of this has to end. But even if I destroy the siphon, will I be strong enough to see all the doors and open whichever I choose? And if I bring him here, who is to say that he would be any match for the monsters
Alright, let's fix this.
I have